Hare Krishna. We continue reading from Caitanya Caritamrita. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya, Jaya Nityananda, Jaya Advaita Chandra, Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda, Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya, Jaya Nityananda, Jaya Advaita Chandra, Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda, Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya, Jaya Nityananda, Jai Advaita Chandra, Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. We are on Caitanya Caritamrita Adi-Lila, chapter 7, text 108. Upanishad Sahita Sutra Kahe Ye Tattva Mukhya Vritye Se Artha Parama Mahatva. The absolute truth is described in the Upanishads and Brahma Sutra, but one must understand the verses as they are. That is the supreme glory in understanding. So it has become fashionable since the time of Shankaracharya to explain everything regarding the Shastras in an indirect way. It's become fashionable to give meanings to the Shastra, to give such a big story of what the Shastra is trying to say, instead of just saying what the Shastra is saying, Scholars take pride in explaining everything in their own way, and they declare that one can understand the Vedic scriptures in any way he likes. This any way you like method is foolishness, and it has created havoc in the Vedic culture. One can accept scientific knowledge in his own whimsical way. If we say, yeah, okay, you understand the Shastra any way you like. So you will look at it in one way, I will look at it in another way, third person will look at it in another way. And then we will be as confused as we were before. But who's right now? Because there's so many opinions. But Shastra is just one. We just have to follow the Shastra. We don't have to try to make some meaning out of it. So, because science is like that. Science is what? Practical application of the knowledge. In the science of mathematics, for example, 2 plus 2 equals 4. And one cannot make it equal 3 or 5. Yet, although it is not possible to alter real knowledge, people have taken to the fashion of understanding Vedic knowledge in any way they like. This is what is what do we say, the disease that we are having right now. We say Bhagavad Gita, and then there's so many people speaking on the Bhagavad Gita based on their own understanding. But that is not what Bhagavad Gita is. Bhagavad Gita is Song of Krishna, Son of God. So we simply have to hear it as Krishna spoke it. We don't have to make up any meaning about it. So it is for this reason that we have presented Bhagavad Gita as it is. So Srila Prabhupada, he understood that there was no authentic translation of Bhagavad Gita. So he presented Bhagavad Gita as it is, as Krishna spoke it and as Arjuna understood it. We do not create meanings by concoction. There is nowhere in Prabhupada's books you will hear him writing, you will read, according to me, it should be, it must be. He never says like that. According to me, he never says that. It's always whatever Lord Krishna is saying. That's it. What Krishna is saying is perfect. Sometimes commentators say that the word Kurukshetra in the first verse of the Bhagavad Gita refers to one's body. But we do not accept this. We understand that Kurukshetra is a place that still exists. And according to the Vedic version, it is a Dharma Kshetra or a place of pilgrimage. So there are some Bhagavad Gita editions in which they say, oh, this Kurukshetra, that Dharma Kshetra, Kurukshetra, the first verse, oh, this Kurukshetra is, some people they say that, oh, it's not the real place, but it is our body. But it's That is just a misinterpretation. It's a misrepresentation because Bhagavad Gita was spoken in Kurukshetra, where the war of Mahabharata happened. So there is no need for us to make up anything. We simply have to hear what Krishna is saying. Kurukshetra still exists and people still go there to perform Vedic sacrifices. Foolish commentators, however, say that Kurukshetra means the body and that Pancha Pandava refers to the five senses. So how is it? The Pandavas are the Pandavas, they are not our five senses. In this way, they distort the meaning and people are misled. So this is a very dangerous thing. What happens is if we are trying to understand the Shastra with our imagination, then not only are we misguided, but we are misguiding everyone else. Here, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu confirms that all Vedic literatures, including the Upanishads, Brahma Sutra, and others, whether Shruti, Smriti, or Nyaya, must be understood according to their original statements. So the Vedic literatures, we said that the knowledge, we receive it by Shruti, Smriti, and Nyaya. Shruti, by hearing the Vedic knowledge. Smriti, the remembrances. Mahabharata is the remembrance. It comes in Smriti. And Nyaya, logic. Vedanta Sutra comes in Nyaya. So all this must be understood as the author wanted it to be understood, not that we make up something out of it. Imagine we write a book and somebody else comments on it, which is totally different from what we intend to say. How upset would we be? So imagine how upset is Krishna that we are taking his song and then putting different meanings to it. Can you imagine that? So he does not want that. He wants us to have the correct meaning of what he's saying. Then we will be able to take proper advantage of this knowledge and get out of this material world. To describe the direct meaning of the Vedic literatures is glorious, but to describe them in one's own way, using imperfect senses and imperfect knowledge, is a disastrous blunder. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu fully deprecated the attempt to describe the Vedas in this way. So the Vedas are perfect, but if we try to explain the Vedas by our own imaginative ways, thinking, oh, the Vedas are not explaining it nicely, I know better. It should be like this. It must be like this. We are completely changing the meaning of the Vedas, and this is fully deprecated by Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Regarding the Upanishads, the following 11 Upanishads are considered to be the topmost. So the Upanishads, there are 108 Upanishads, out of which 11 are mentioned here. Isha, the Isopanishad. Okay, then Kena, Katha, Prashna, Mundaka, Mandukya, Taitriya, Aitreya, Chandogya, Brihad Aranyaka, and Shvetashvatara. So these are the 11 Upanishads, which are more prominent amongst the 108. And we can see when we read more and more Prabhupada's books, he very often quotes from these Upanishads, very often. However, in the Mukti Upanishad, verse 30 to 39, there is a description of 108 Upanishads. So in the Mukta Upanishad, there is the 108, and Srila Prabhupada is giving us the names of all the 108 Upanishads. And out of these 108, he's saying that 11, the first what we read, those 11 are the most prominent, the topmost. So we'll go on reading the 108 names of the Upanishads. Isopanishad, Kenopanishad, Kathopanishad, Prashnopanishad, Mundakopanishad, Mandukyopanishad, Taitriyopanishad, Aitreyopanishad, Chandogyopanishad, Brihad Aranyokopanishad, Brahmopanishad, Kaivalyopanishad, Jabalopanishad, Shvetashvataropanishad, Hamsopanishad, Aruneyopanishad, Garbhopanishad, Narayanopanishad, Paramhamsopanishad, Amrita Bindu Upanishad, Nada Bindu Upanishad, Shiropanishad, Atharva Shikshopanishad, Maitreya Yani Upanishad, Kaushitaki Upanishad, Brahaj Jabalopanishad, Nishimha Tapaniyopanishad, Kalagni Rutropanishad, Maitre Upanishad, Subalo Upanishad, Shuri Kopanishad, Mantri Kopanishad, Sarvasaro Upanishad, Nira Lambo Upanishad, Shuka Rahasyo Upanishad, Vajra Chiko Upanishad, Tejo Bindu Upanishad, Nada Bindu Upanishad, Dhyana Bindu Upanishad, Brahma Vidyopanishad, Yoga Tattva Upanishad, Atma Bodho Upanishad, Narada Pravijja Upanishad, Trishikhi Upanishad, Shito Upanishad, Yoga Chudamani Upanishad, Nirvana Upanishad, Mandala Brahmana Upanishad, Dakshina Murti Upanishad, Sharabha Upanishad, Skanda Upanishad, Mahanarayana Upanishad, Advayatara Upanishad, Rama Rahasya Upanishad, Rama Tapani Upanishad, Vasudeva Upanishad, Mudgala Upanishad, Shandilya Upanishad, Pengala Upanishad, Bhikshu Upanishad, Mahad Upanishad, Sharika Upanishad, Yoga Shikho Upanishad, Turiya Titopanishad, Sanyasopanishad, Paramhamsa Pravijakopanishad, Malikopanishad, Avyaktopanishad, Ekaksharopanishad, Puranopanishad, Suryopanishad, Akshi Upanishad, Adhyatmopanishad, Kundikopanishad, Savitri Upanishad, Atma Upanishad, Pashupatopanishad, Parambrahm Upanishad, Avadhutopanishad, Tripura Tapopanishad, Devi Upanishad, Tripura Upanishad, Katharudra Upanishad, Bhavana Upanishad, Hridaya Upanishad, Yoga Kundalini Upanishad, Bhasma Upanishad, Rudraksha Upanishad, Ganopanishad, Darshana Upanishad, Tarashara Upanishad, Mahavakya Upanishad, Pancha Brahma Upanishad, Pranagni Hotra Upanishad, Gopala Tapani Upanishad, Krishna Upanishad, Yajnavalkya Upanishad, Varaha Upanishad, Satyayani Upanishad, Hayagriva Upanishad, Dattatreya Upanishad, Garuda Upanishad, Kali Upanishad, Jabali Upanishad, Saubhagya Upanishad, Saraswati Rahasya Upanishad, Mahavrajopanishad and Muktikopanishad. Thus, there are 108 generally accepted Upanishads, of which 11 are the most important, as previously stated. So, Srila Prabhupada also is taking so much trouble to give us the names of all the 108 Upanishads. He gave us in this purport the names of all the 108 Upanishads. So we'll stop here for today. Shri Caitanya Caritamrita ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Bhaktavinda ki jai. Hare Krishna.